Idols and The Voice aren't the only platforms to discover young singing stars. John has this charming story of the so-called Olympics of opera and local talent lighting up stages from Milan to the Met.
The venue was Amsterdam, the year 2015. The occasion, the annual Garbor Belvedere singing competition. Among the contestants, a young graduate of the Cape Town Opera School, Free State-born Levi Strauss Sekgapane. How would his undiscovered voice compare with 1,000 others from across the world?
I thought I had no chance when I arrived there the first time. Beautiful people, beautiful sopranos and tenors and basses. They walk with, they're so proud. And of course you are intimidated by them.
He needn't have been intimidated. Levi Sekgapane won the prestigious competition. Yet another South African operatic sensation, one of those incredible voices coming from nowhere, without resources or childhood training.
I was just speechless. I just cried, actually, because it was the beginning of my life. It was the beginning of a new life.
From Amsterdam, it was Berlin, Dresden, Rome. Levi stood on the brink of an international operatic career. The Belvedere Opera Competition is arguably the most prestigious in the world. 854 singers applied, and the preliminary rounds were held in 70 cities across the globe. This year, Cape Town is playing host to the finals, the first time they've been held outside Europe. Founded by the legendary Austrian conductor Hans Garbor in 1982, the contest is the springboard for a career in opera. Here, managers and agents from around the world scout for new talent. Hans Garbor's widow Isabella continues his legacy, showcasing inchoate voices to the opera world.
It became a kind of stock exchange for singers. I think it's the stepping stone for young singers to help them in their career.
It's more than that. Winning the Belvedere competition almost guarantees operatic stardom. Tonight, these Cape Town opera graduates are hoping they'll be catapulted into a new world. Lucanio Moyaka happened upon opera by accident. He heard a CD of the three tenors.
And then I said, I want to sing like that. Then the choirs, I try to always to be a soloist.
Nolovoyiso Mpofu has a background in choral singing. She first heard opera at an Eisteddfod High School in Port Elizabeth.
I remember sitting there listening to this girl singing. The music was just beautiful, and I just said there and then that, okay, I love this. This is what I want to do.
She decided she needed to embrace this art form.
I went to the library, then I researched on opera, everything about opera. I borrowed a DVD from someone, and then I just learned the aria from the DVD, and then that was it for me.
Self-taught, she came second in the Eisteddfod when she was 17, and after school set off to study opera in Cape Town. The University of Cape Town's opera school is akin to New York's Juilliard Opera School and has nurtured many talented young stars who've made it abroad. There were fears some time ago that in this country opera would die a Eurocentric death, but South Africa has a strong choral tradition, and that's why our singers continue hitting the high notes on the international stage.
The Belvedere competition for me opened all the doors I can ever even think of.
Pretty Yende won the Hans Garbor competition in 2009. Her musical journey began in the unlikely town of Piet Retief in Mpumalanga.
When I started singing, the whole family was excited, but most of the family members, like my uncle, was so surprised to hear me singing opera. And he said to me, "Oh, you're singing this music? This music is for rich people." And at the time, I had no idea that this kind of music only belonged to a certain class.
Yende has conquered the Met in New York, Milan's La Scala, where she was artist in residence for 4 years, and the Paris Opera. She has shared the stage with names like Bocelli and Domingo, and she recently debuted I Puritani in Zurich to rave reviews.
The South Africans are doing well abroad because they all come from a very huge choral society and tradition.
Singing, it seems, is a natural form of expression to many South Africans. But when Levi told his parents that he wanted to pursue a career in an art form they knew very little about, they were naturally concerned.
Every parent wishes their child was a doctor or a teacher or something that they could see in life. But if the minute the child said, Mama, I want to be an actor, they'd be like, what? How are you going to do that? So they didn't know what to expect, really.
With his stellar success, his parents' fears are allayed. Like Pretty, South African opera singers are highly sought after overseas. Professor Kamal Khan is head of the Cape Town Opera School. To what do you ascribe the success of South African singers?
This is one of the increasingly few countries where people sing operatically as a natural response to emotion, in a similar way to perhaps how it was in Italy when these works were first being written, like it isn't necessarily in Italy today, for example. It's a growth business here also because young men don't regard being involved in the arts as not masculine. They respect the achievement, they respect the athleticism of it.
What is it, Helga, that makes South African singers special? Is it their warmth?
South Africans are emotional. Emotion is necessary for the art and for opera especially. And if you are able to bring emotion to the audience, that's the best gift that you can have.
Back at the Belvedere, Nolovoyiso is a bundle of nerves at the semi-finals. Last year, she got into the finals. This year, she's up against 50 other superb singers capable of extreme vocal control.
I felt that I didn't do as well. But then when they said that I went through to the finals, I was like, oh, yay! I was so happy.
Despite being at the tip of the continent and thousands of kilometers away from the opera capitals of the world, South Africa is well represented in the finals. Of the 16 competitors who made it through to the deciding round, 4 are from this country.
The talent in South Africa is what separates us from the world. There is just something so special about the vocal quality that each and every young singer has that the world is not so used to.
There's good news for Nolovoyiso at this year's Belvedere. She won the Audience Award and came second in the competition.
Everyone sang their hearts out, and just to be given a position on the top 3, it's amazing.
Last year's winner, Levi Sekgapane, is now based in Germany and is living his dream.
I feel like a king when I'm on stage. I feel like I've got the whole world under my hands.